Hello everyone and welcome to the first episode of the Spotlight series. In this series I will cover the history of as accurate as possible of any ride, manufacturer, park, whatever that has an interesting history worth covering. Today we will be talking about the unique Move It 32. If I say anything incorrect or if you know anything more, please correct me in the comment section below. The Move It is a unique ride made by KMG and it's currently traveling in Belgium. But what's the history behind this ride? Let's find out. So, it kind of all started in 1994 with a ride called Spinball. It was built in-house by Dutch showman Van der Beek, which is known for later building the Sound Machine and some Starflyers. The founder of KMG helped Van der Beek with designing and building the Spinball. The ride consisted of some kind of disc that could hold 24 people. The disc could spin in both directions and was connected to a horizontal arm that rotates, so the riders would flip upside down. The arm was connected to two C-shaped supports that could lift down to load passengers in and out. Also, the whole structure could spin around, so this ride had 3 rotations. Then 1 year later, in 1995, KMG announced the Move It 32, which was inspired by the Spinball. It's basically the same concept but bigger and more impressive. Instead of the spinning disc that Spinball had, the Move It has some kind of claw with 8 gondolas that each fit 4 people, so the capacity was 32 riders per cycle. From there the 32 in the model name. The gondolas were located under the arm and were floorless, unlike the Spinball where the disc was above the arm. The Move It also has a backdrop and the whole structure is angled a bit. For transport, the Move It fits on 3 trailers, making it the first KMG ride that needed more than 1 trailer for transport. It was also the first model of the Move It series because later KMG also made the Move It 18 and Move It 24. If you want to know more about those models and their competition, I recommend you to watch Flat Ride of the Week episode 17. The link is in the description. So in 1995, German showman Schmidt ordered the Move It 32 prototype. It would have been called Overflight and it was scheduled for delivery in 1995. However, at the end of the 1995 season, there was no sign of the Overflight at all. In May 1996, Schmidt came on the fairs with the Transformer, which was the prototype Topstar Tour, manufactured by Italian Soriani and Moser. The Topstar Tour is the exact same concept as the Move It 32, but with 2 gondolas more, so it could fit 40 people. It was also probably cheaper to build as it didn't use hydraulic motors like the Move It. These might be the reasons why Schmidt chose Soriani and Moser instead of KMG. However, all of this didn't stop KMG building the Move It 32. They simply called the prototype Move It and they gave it a lot of decorations and a hand-painted backdrop. The founder of KMG, Mr. Kroon, first traveled with the Move It. Its first ever fair was in Best in the Netherlands in 1996, which was some weeks after the Topstar Tour debuted. Back then, the Move It was not completely finished. For example, the operator box was not painted yet, and there were no shields in front of the ride, and the backdrop only had lights on the main sign and the 2 words action and power. But the ride was still very impressive with its 10 sets of lights and strobes. By 1997, the ride was completely finished with a lot of lights on the backdrop, shields and a painted operator box. In 1998, Kroon took the Move It to Israel for several months. Several Dutch showmen went there for a fair in honor of the 50th anniversary of Israel. When the Move It came back to the Netherlands, the Kroon family continued traveling with it until 1999. Then it was sold to Dutch showman Porter. They continued traveling with it in the Netherlands until 2002. Then it was sold to the UK to English showman Cox. The Move It first appeared with Cox at the Loughborough Fair in November 2002. It is said that the Move It went to Dubai after that fair, so in the winter of 2002 to 2003. I couldn't find any evidence that it went there, but it seems realistic, so it's not confirmed that it went to Dubai, but it could have been there. In 2003, it just continued traveling with Cox in the UK, and in 2004, it went to what probably was its last ever Dutch fair. The Move-It came to KMG in the Netherlands for maintenance, and when it was there, it did one or two Dutch fairs. The last ever Dutch fair is said to be at Valkenswaard, which was around July 2004. Then it was in the UK for about 6 years. In the winter of 2005 to 2006, the original backdrop was redone with airbrush by an unknown artist. It kept on traveling in the UK with Cox until somewhere around July 2009. Then it was sold to English showman Aries. The Move-It probably had its worst ever time with Aries. They never took the Move-It out to a fair for unknown reasons, and they immediately put it up for sale. They didn't take care of the ride at all and stored it in their backyard, which caused a lot of motor problems and rust. This ride already had some technical problems because it's a prototype and it was already pretty old. So without any maintenance, the ride got into a really bad state with Aries. The ride was for sale at a very cheap price. For reference, the ride was built for more than 1 million euros. And it was for sale for less than 250,000 euros. This just shows in what a terrible state the ride was in and how much work it needed. Eventually, in early 2010, the Move-It was bought by French showman Laurier. Laurier invested a lot into the refurbishment of the Move-It, but they never took it to KMG because it was probably too expensive. It debuted with Laurier at the Foire de Mai in Metz in May 2010. After this fair, the ride didn't experience much trouble until it was at the fair in Rouen at the end of the 2010 season in October. There, the motor of the main plate broke, but that didn't stop them from operating the ride. They just operated it with the plate spinning on gravity. In 2011, they added more fences to the ride, so there was some kind of queue, and they also repainted the supports in red. The first fair of 2011 would be the Foire du Trône in Paris, but due to mechanical issues, the ride never opened there and left the fair. The ride continued operating without much trouble in 2011, but it needed a lot of maintenance. In 2014, they replaced the old lights on the gondolas with brand new RGB LED lights. After Laurier owned it for over 6 years and it was operating for over 20 years in total, the ride started to show its age and started to have some major mechanical issues in 2016. After the last fair of the 2016 season in Rouen, Laurier sold the Move-It to Belgian showman Van Herk. Van Herk picked the Move-It up around the 20th of February in 2017. It did its first fair with Van Herk at the fair in Halle in March 2017. They slowly added more RGB LED lights on the ride and they replaced the old spotlight with brand new RGB spotlights. Meanwhile, the ride experienced some minor technical issues. The ride was scheduled to go to the fair in Tilburg in the Netherlands in 2017, but due to issues with the inspections, the Move-It never got there. The ride started to experience its first major mechanical issues with Van Herk at the fair in Hasselt in September 2017. There it broke down and it was closed for the most time it was there. So at the end of the 2017 season, it only did 4 fairs. After a refurbishment in the winter of 2017 to 2018, it returned in 2018 at the fair in Geel. After that, it went to the fair in Genk, and at the openings day at Genk on the 27th of April 2018, the Move-It was operating normally until the supports of the ride lowered while the ride was in operation, causing a gondola to hit the floor. Luckily, there were no injuries. After the incident, the ride left the fair and went to KMG, where it just got inspected. The ride then returned to Belgium and got a huge refurbishment with, for example, a brand new, safer system to lower the supports, a new control panel, and a new system for the restraints. A lot of parts from the ride also got a new layer of paint. After being refurbished for about 1 year, the ride made its comeback in May 2019 at the Mayfour in Brugge. The first evening of the fair, the Move It stayed closed due to technical issues, but the day after they managed to open the ride successfully after some hours of testing. They continue touring with the Move It on the Belgian fair circuit, and they visit a lot of different small and big fairs. In September of 2019, they started replacing the old lights on the backdrop with brand new non-RGB LED lights. It did its last fair of the 2019 season in October at Liège, where it was a very big success. The Move It was ready to return in 2020 and it pulled up at the fair in Halle in March, but they quickly needed to leave the fair because it got cancelled due to the virus. When fairs will return, the Move It will be ready to operate again and satisfy lots of people as it has been doing for 24 years now. That was it for this video. The Move It 32 is, in my opinion, one of the best rides ever built. The intensity is just perfect and it looks so beautiful. It's in really good hands now. They're really taking care of it. So thanks to everyone who helped me making this video, and of course thank you for watching all the way till the end. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.